Wizard of the Kremlin. That's a film you saw, Alan, that I did not.
Yes.
And I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Okay. So The Wizard of Kremlin, look, the overview is this is kind of the rise of Vladimir Putin, but from the perspective of Vadim Baronov, played by Paul Dano there. That's Jude Law as Putin. And it sets itself up. Vadim has been retired from his job for a very long time. An American journalist played by Jeffrey Wright comes and talks about his career and basically wants to get into the truth about Putin and what Americans have reported on him and whether there's truth or validity to it and decisions he made. But then it's basically Vadim's story, starting as kind of the son of an oligarch who becomes this counterculture artist. He revolutionizes Russian television from a reality TV standpoint. And it catches the eye of Boris Berezovsky, who thinks that that Vadim's skills with television can translate to Russian politics, because the current leader of Russia is, they've been having problems with with Gorbachev and things like that, and they want to bring a real leader in, and so Vadim helps kind of finalize things, and it all points to Putin, who is basically an ex-KGB officer who has no real ambition to be leader. He's happy being the guy running, the wizard, the guy running the mask in the back room. But they convince him to do it, and this whole thing goes into how Putin becomes the leader he is today. Here's the thing I found interesting about this. I think people use this phrase a lot. Two things could be right at the same time. First is Putin can be a ruthless authoritarian with murders, who likes to murder his opponents or people who double cross him. That's probably true. The other thing that is also true is that maybe Democrats, after the election of Trump, made stories up about what Putin did, and his influence over the election, the Trump election in 2026. And that's, to me, that's the interesting part, is to see how this movie handles that. And I think what you see is that the people who are writing the stories about Putin being in collusion with Trump and stuff was a made up story, and that what you do is you get to see that kind of perspective from the Russian side. And I guess that's what I'm saying is what fascinated me most about this movie is you see the Russian side of what is happening. Like there's a whole segment on Russians' use of social media during the election, and how it wasn't to support one candidate or the other, but it was to foment chaos in America by posting things about Trump or posting things about Clinton. And it was their attempt to keep things at chaos. And it was Vadim's Vadim here who set that strategy in place. And so it's not pro-Russian, but it does enlighten things. And I say that as it's interesting that a movie would do that. A movie would take this approach to the Russian side of the story and present it in a way that, A, basically is the Russian explanation of things, and B, sounds somewhat plausible, especially today. So I look, this plays out like a biopic. Paul Dano is his character. Vadim is just talking about how things happened, and we see clips of it. And so that's, I will say that if you are a student of politics like I am, in global politics, and tend to be very skeptical about what the media pushes our way, this is an interesting movie to watch. And whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. But it's a perspective that I find interesting.
How is Jude Law as Putin?
Oh, he's very good. He's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just interesting to me that they are trying to be authentic to the source material, and Jude Law is playing playing Putin very authentic to what he's not. I'll say this: he's the villain, but he's not the villain in this movie.
Do you recommend it?
I do, but you've got to come in at it with an open mind. If you hate Russia, you think Putin's the worst person in the world, which he probably is. You're probably going to question the hell out of this movie, and I kind of question the hell out of it from the other perspective as well.
Well, I'm part Russian, so at some point I'm obliged to see it.
Yeah, you're part a lot of things.
That's true. I'm like, you're a pet and orgy.